Since the beginning, stories were told by candlelight. As man began to harness and control light, an art was developed, the balance of light and shadow. Where you place the light in conjunction with the camera angle can convey different emotions. The director, cinematographer, and gaffer decide the style and values of each scene to accomplish a director's vision. Light can be direct, bounced, shot through diffusion, reflected, hard, or soft. From tungsten, halogen, fluorescent, HMI, to LEDs, the DP applies his knowledge to every scene and can visualize what light where to put them to gain maximum photographic effect.
Everything in front of the camera needs to be lit. Here is an example of doing some small tabletop photography with specialty type of light to tell your story. Currently you see here is a microflow KinoFlow kit that has very thin tubes. These have been used to put behind objects, in front of objects, or in very tight places to be into. This is your daylight type of version of this. To maximize this, you can go into a color temperature of tungsten. And then right off to the side here, I have a dado kit. If I turn on this dado kit, I'm able to use this focal spot with an iris. And here we can control the amount of light to a pinpoint of how we like it. These are small little kits that you can use to put anywhere, inside of cars, inside of very tight places to go into. In front of you are some of the DP's tools of the trade. One of the most important things that he has to have would be a light meter. This particular light meter is an incident meter and a spot meter. We have meters that measure color temperature. We have meters that measure light frequencies. We have meters that read hertz. We even have meters that reads foot candles. Some of the other things of looking through light would be a contrast viewing glass to be able to see the contrast of your scene. We also have a viewing glass for working with visual effects, for doing green screen and blue screen. When trying to focus in a very powerful light or looking at the sun, we use a welding glass to be able to look straight in and be able to adjust and guide where the light beam needs to be. Some things that we do also is use viewfinders. That way we can go on to location with whatever director we're with, and then you can pick your format and your frame and you can line up your shots. This is a simple standalone version. They also do make ones that are PL mount that you can use your real lenses and go and test it with. You can never have enough meters. Here's also some specialty lightings. These particular ones are called Asteras. These are Titan tubes that are battery powered. They are controlled RGB completely by an app from your tablet or your iPhone. We can independently choose the effect of each light. Some of the things that it will do, as you can see, we have a rainbow effect. We have a water effect, a green pulse effect. We can be full saturation of red, of any particular color on the rainbow that we choose to pick. You can do chase effects. You can do flashes, paparazzi, fire, police, fireworks, television. It is infinitely adjustable. You can also program these to be able to last the battery for as long as you're going to be shooting. So if you're going to know that you need illumination for, let's say, 6 hours, you can program every light that it will take whatever battery power it has and run it to that 6 hours before it shuts off. It has anti-theft. If you have this at a place that you're doing a club and somebody decides to take it or move it or change it, it'll go into a lock mode, start giving a siren and start blinking, so you can't actually turn it off, because even if you try to turn it off, it won't turn off. So these are really, the These lights are endless possibilities. Before, when we were using these lights that are tungsten lights and some of the other ones, we would be using swatches. Every swatch would be a color. This is particular Roscoe, Lee. These was something that we sat down for hours upon hours picking a color and saying that's the color we're going to be lighting and keying everybody. If that would be the case, we would have to put them on the front of all the different lights that we have. In this case, all of those exact colors, if I go into here, into my programming, you can see that the colors of the rainbow is on here. But I can definitely move my finger and change it, or I can go to pre-programmed of these exact swatches inside here. So if I wanted to go and say Storaro Indigo, that's that color. I don't have to buy that gel. That gel is not very cheap either. If I want to go into, this is a Storaro Yellow. I like the Storaro series. Here's a Storaro Medium Red. Here's a Cyan. So when we're on set and you're trying to mix match and you're using color as a contrast, you want to put colors of lights that are sometimes opposite of each other. You would take an orange and then opposite with a blue. That way you have color contrast. The levels of adjustability for dimming is all by a fingertip. This is the easy button. You can program as many of these as you want. You can put them through a board. You could have hundreds of these and actually have them all do an effect on each one. But like anything else, and what I found out through all my life, one light doesn't do everything. If it did, it'd be like one camera does everything or one lens does everything. You have to match the gear with what you're doing. So in some cases, this is very good. But if you're going to be outside and it's a very bright environment, these won't be as saturated as you think it is. They have to be the hero of the scene to then make it like that. But if I wanted that particular color on that 24K tungsten light, I could put that in front of a frame and that light will illuminate the whole scene, whether it's nighttime or daytime, and you'll be able to see the color. The modern lights today are RGB controlled, meaning it's infinitely adjustable on the color temperatures. In the old days, when you're trying to put a light with a certain color temperature, you would refer to your swatches. This would be the designed color that you want to go with, matched up for the director and the DP to decide that that was a scene that was going to happen. If I wanted to make these RGB lights controllable to make it a different color, immediately I can just touch it and it will send the signal through Bluetooth and adjust those lights. If I want to add an effect to them, depending on what color effect, how the sequence is, if I'm doing a running car shot and I want to see street lights that come by, I can do it on cue. You have different types of strobe for paparazzi. And in the old days, in order to do that, I would have to take this type of gel, the one that would be picked, and we would buy multiple of it to be able to allow it to be put onto a big light. That way you could cover a scene larger. These battery-powered lights here in broad daylight will not be very strong. They normally are good for certain occasions. Not one light will do everything. Not one camera will film everything. And not one lens will do everything. These are the palettes of the crayon box that we have, that we use to tell our stories. Stay tuned. Coming up next, rigging and grit.